Hi friends, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button and share this video with your buddies, ready for a super sweet adventure. Let's go with Bunny Foofoo. Once upon a time, on a bright and sunny morning, Bunny Foofoo woke up from a dream about yummy giant chocolate bars. As he hopped out of bed, he couldn't stop thinking about how delicious it would be to take a big bite out of one. So he put on his blue jacket and his red hat, grabbed his sparkly toothbrush and hopped out the door and into the forest. As he skipped along the path, he saw something strange floating between the trees. It was a shiny, magical balloon. And as Bunny Foofoo got closer, he could hear a tiny voice saying, "Come play with me, come play with me." Curious, Bunny Foofoo reached out and grabbed the string, and suddenly, poof, the balloon grew larger and larger until it enveloped him completely. Then, with a gentle tug, it lifted him right up off his feet and floated him above the trees. "Whoa!" shouted Bunny Foofoo. "Where are we going?" But the balloon didn't answer. It just kept on floating higher and higher until finally it came to a stop over a magical planet that looked like a giant piece of candy. There were crunchy cookie houses, rivers of juicy fruit punch, and mountains of soft, fluffy marshmallows everywhere. "Wow, what a magical place," said Bunny Foofoo. And with that, he took a running leap and bounced off the balloon and onto the ground. As he hopped off, the balloon popped, leaving Bunny Foofoo all alone on this strange new world. But he didn't feel scared. In fact, he felt super excited. He bounced down the path until he came to a little town made out of lollipops and candy canes. And that's when he saw them, two friendly-looking creatures waving at him from a nearby bench. The first was a cute teddy bear made out of pink jelly. He had big dreams and a sweet tooth, and the second was a cool bird made out of bubblegum. He had rosy red cheeks and could fly super fast, faster than you could ever imagine. "Hi there," said Bunny Foofoo. "My name is Bunny Foofoo, and I'm from planet Earth. Do you know where I am?" "Well, hello there, Bunny Foofoo," said the jelly bear. "I'm Lolly, and this is my friend Zozo. You're on the magical candy planet, of course. Where else would you be?" "The magical candy planet," repeated Bunny Foofoo. "How awesome is that?" Just then, Zoe zoomed over to a nearby river, took a big dip in the fruit punch, and splashed water all over Bunny Foofoo and Lally. "Ew, gross," said Bunny Foofoo, wiping the fruit punch out of his eyes. "That was no fun at all." But Lolly just laughed and said, "Don't get upset, Bunny Foofoo. That's just how we roll on the candy planet. Things are always a little bit messy here." And that's when Zozo suddenly turned serious. "I'm afraid I have some bad news," he said. "Our planet has a terrible problem. All of the kids who visit here end up eating too much candy and then they forget to brush their teeth. And when that happens, a scary monster appears and starts ruining everything." "Oh dear," said Bunny Foofoo. "How can we stop him?" "We need to find the sparkle toothbrushes," said Lally. "They're magical brushes that keep teeth strong and clean. But the sugar monster hid them all across the planet, and only the purest of hearts can find them. Will you help us, Bunny Foofoo?" "Of course," said Bunny Foofoo. "I love helping my friends. Let's find those toothbrushes." So the three friends set off across the magical planet in search of the sparkle toothbrushes. Their journey took them through fields of candy corn, past rivers of flowing chocolate, and over mountains of gummy bears. Along the way, they met all kinds of friendly monsters who were happy to help them on their quest. There was a grumpy gummy gator who helped them cross a raging chocolate river by letting them ride on his back. A wise old lollipop tree who gave them directions to the next sparkle toothbrush, and a family of singing and dancing marshmallow friends who joined them on their journey. But the friends didn't just stop and sightsee. They also had to solve puzzles and overcome obstacles in order to find the hidden toothbrushes. Once they had to use a giant magnifying glass to find a tiny toothbrush hidden inside a grain of sugar. Another time, they needed to work together to lift a heavy rock blocking their path. And yet another time they had to tiptoe across a tightrope strung between two marshmallow mountains. But through it all, they never lost hope, and they never gave up. After many hours of searching, the friends finally found the last of the sparkle toothbrushes. It was hidden in a secret cave guarded by a ferocious-looking Sour Patch Kids monster. "You want to get past me?" he growled. "Then you'll have to catch me if you can." And with that, he threw handfuls of gummy worms and sour balls at them, trying to knock them out. But Bunny Foofoo, Lally, and Zozo dodged every single projectile and finally reached the toothbrush. "Yes, we did it," cried Bunny Foofoo, brushing the sweat off his forehead. "We found all the sparkle toothbrushes." Just then, the Sour Patch Kids monster stopped throwing candy and wiped a tear from his eye. "I see you're just here to help everyone," he said. "In that case, I won't stand in your way." And with that, he stepped aside and watched as Bunny Foofoo, Lally, and Zozo planted the sparkle toothbrushes around the planet. As soon as the last toothbrush was planted, the Sour Patch Kids monster disappeared, and in his place stood a magnificent creature made out of pure sugar and spice. "Who are you?" asked Bunny Foofoo. "I am the sugar monster," he replied, "and you have saved our planet. As a reward, I will grant each of you a wish." "Oh, wow," said Bunny Foofoo. "Well, I wish for all the kids who visit this planet to remember to brush their teeth so you won't have to get upset." The sugar monster smiled. "An excellent choice, Bunny Foofoo. Your wish is my command." And with that, he waved his magic wand and poof, all the kids who visited the Candy Planet from now on would always remember to brush their teeth. "Hooray!" cheered Bunny Foofoo. "We did it! We saved the Candy Planet." Lolly and Zozo were just as happy. "Thank you, Bunny Foofoo, for helping us," said Lolly. "It was an honor to have you on our planet." "And don't forget," added Zozo, "adventures are sweet, but clean teeth are even sweeter." And with that, they all laughed and celebrated by taking a dip in the river of fruit punch. Bunny Foofoo stayed on the Candy Planet with his new friends for many more hours, playing games, eating candy, and having the time of his life. But eventually, it was time to go. The friends said their goodbyes, and Bunny Foofoo climbed aboard the balloon once again. With a final wave, he disappeared into the clouds and floated all the way back to his own planet. When he landed in the forest, the sun was beginning to set and the stars were starting to twinkle in the night sky. Bunny Foofoo yawned and stretched. "What an exciting adventure," he said to himself. "I can't wait to tell all my friends about it." And with that, he hopped all the way home, his head full of dreams about giant chocolate bars and magical planets made out of candy.